I refuse to watch NFL football next season. Let's talk about it.
Ask what you can do for your country.
And always will be the United States of America.
We're going to build the wall.
Tear down this wall.
A lot of you may not remember this, but back in 2011, TLC ran a reality show called All American Muslim. The show centered around 5 normal American families in Dearborn, Michigan that just happen to be Muslim.
We live our lives like everybody else.
And I've been law enforcement for 19 years.
I don't require much. I like my country music.
The most important things are my family and coaching football.
No big deal, right? I didn't think so either. But back in 2011, a conservative group called the Florida Family Association disagreed.
The Florida Family Association says, in its words, the show hides the Islamic agenda's clear and present danger to American liberties and traditional values.
And then Lowe's caved to the pressure. They said the show was controversial in that it was a political lightning rod for all different points of view and pulled their advertising from the show. The same way people pull ads when someone comes out as a convicted, sex criminal or a racist or homophobe or something like that. They pulled their ads from the show because it was controversial. If you think portraying Muslim Americans as normal and not extremists and just showing their everyday normal American lives in a positive way is controversial, then you're an idiot. And I refuse to support a company that is so against my personal belief system. So, since 2011 when they pulled their ads, I haven't been back to a Lowe's. I won't go back to a Lowe's. Then today happened. The NFL officially banned kneeling, sitting, protesting of any type during the National Anthem before its National Football League games. So what that means is people like Colin Kaepernick, who's no longer in the league, and some of these other players around the league that have been protesting before games can no longer do so without risking a fine. They are allowed to stay in the locker room, so they do have the option to sit out the National Anthem if they still want to protest in that way. But if they protest on the field, they will be fined or their team will be fined. I fundamentally disagree with what happened today, but let's get 2 things very clear. Number 1, this is not, I repeat, not unconstitutional. The NFL is a private company, and private companies can have their employees do whatever they want as long as said action is not illegal or discriminatory. Requiring all league personnel to stand during the National Anthem is neither of those things. It's not illegal, it's not discriminatory. The NFL is well within its rights to enforce this ban on protesting during the National Anthem. So let's make that very clear. This is not unconstitutional. It is not a violation of First Amendment rights. Your First Amendment rights don't apply to your place of work. You work for someone, that person or that company can set their own rules. Same when you're in someone's private home. My mom wouldn't let me swear when I was growing up. Was that against my free speech rights? Absolutely not. Those were the rules of the house. If I didn't like it, I could get out. The NFL is saying the same things. You don't like it, don't play football here. So let's make that clear. They didn't do anything illegal here. They didn't do anything unconstitutional here. But that brings me to number 2. These protests are not protests against the flag. They are not protests against the country. They damn for sure are not protests against the military or police officers around the country. Furthermore, military personnel, military veterans, police officers, families of military personnel, families of police officers do not own the American flag. It belongs to all of us. If you want to interpret that as disrespectful, it's stupid, but that's your right. But it damn sure is not disrespecting anyone that ever put on a uniform just because you want to protest something that's happening in this country. So that's my point number 2. These protests are not disrespectful, and they're not against the flag, and they're not against the military. I have no idea how this argument has persisted this long, but it's stupid.
Blue lives matter in America.
I'll tell you why. The people that find it disrespectful hide behind their patriotism, they hide behind the flag. You don't have a right to tell me what's patriotic. To me, being patriotic is standing up for something you believe in, no matter the consequences. That's patriotic. Punishing a player for a political protest is just about the stupidest thing I have ever seen. And I mean ever. It's un-American. This is America. This is America. This is where we protest. This is where we argue. This is where we debate. This is where we have a healthy, peaceful exchange of ideas. That's what we do here. So telling black and brown people that protesting the insane amount of violence and institutional systematic racism that still persists in this country is less important than some fans' hurt feelings because they misinterpret the protest as disrespectful to the military is insane. This is America. If you should be able to do that anywhere, it should be here. Now, like I said, I know their First Amendment rights are not being violated because they're not being punished by the government. But the fact that the NFL won't let these players live, let them speak, let them use their voice just because they're employees is crazy to me. This is the one place, if any, where that should not happen. So please just stop with the athletes shouldn't have political opinions bullshit. Actors shouldn't have political opinions. We're all people. We are all ruled by the same governing body. We all still live in this republic. Everyone has a political opinion. Everybody does. Athletes and entertainers can't have political opinions. Why? Why? Because they entertain you? Are they not also people that raise families? That live in the same systems of government that we do? They can't have an opinion? That spoils your Sunday? When you realize that they're more complicated than putting a ball in a hoop or through a goalpost or in an end zone? Come on, man. Do you know how many people hated Muhammad Ali in the 1960s when he was drafted and refused to join the military and fight in the Vietnam War?
It has been said that I have two alternatives. Either go to jail or go to the army. But I would like to say that there is another alternative. And that alternative is justice.
But how many more people to this day love him for being a man of conviction, for being a man of steadfast, wholehearted, deeply felt beliefs?
I think that he's doing what he is doing on the basis of conscience.
What's more important? Making everybody happy, saying stuff that nobody can disagree with, or standing up for what you believe in? What's more important? Muhammad Ali, by the way, went down on the right side of history. It was a stupid war that we should have never been involved in. He said that when it was unpopular to say that. But this is America. You should be able to say things that are not popular at the time. That's where I'm at on it. Standing up for what you believe, no matter the consequence, is the best part about being an American. It's the best part. And the NFL's trying to shit all over that. I think the aspects of our society that are being challenged right now are legitimate. And I think that people should listen to what's being said instead of getting their feelings all hurt and hiding behind the flag and hiding behind military service and police service. As if they're the only people that are patriots. And as if they're the only people that lay claim to the Stars and Stripes.
What's your reaction, Mr. President?
Well, I think that's good. I don't think people should be staying in locker rooms, but still, I think it's good. You have to stand proudly for the national anthem. Well, you shouldn't be playing. You shouldn't be there. Maybe you shouldn't be in the country. You have to stand proudly for the national anthem. And the NFL owners did the right thing if that's what they've done.
Shouldn't be in the country? Trump, do you hear yourself? You know you're the president of everybody, right? Not just the people that wear MAGA hats. Everybody. And people you disagree with, you don't agree with their form of political protest, don't belong here? Get over yourself, man. Look, I am a lifelong football fan. I'm a lifelong Bronco fan. When the Broncos won their first Super Bowl, I was in 8th grade. I got permission from my parents to skip school and go downtown and go to the parade with a friend of mine and his dad. The next year we got our second Super Bowl and I was a freshman in high school and I did not get permission to skip school. But I skipped school anyway, sorry mom, and had a party in the middle of the day at my house because there was no way I was going to class to English 101 or whatever the hell it was, and not celebrating the Broncos' second consecutive Super Bowl, second overall. There was no way. I love my team. I love football. But here's the thing, man. The Broncos are a team. I will always love and support that team, its personnel, its players, its fans. Football is a sport. It's my favorite sport. And I grew up playing basketball, but football is my favorite sport. But the NFL is a business. And today, that business made a decision that I just can't get on board with. That business did something that, in my view, is way worse than anything Lowe's did back in 2011. I haven't been to a Lowe's since. And unless this rule gets adjusted, I won't be watching football anymore either.